Greetings, young chudlings. Back with another trade recap. This was the New York AM trade that I ended up taking today. Absolute banger, bro. We've had some insanely clean price action recently. Knock on wood. Hopefully it keeps up going like this. This would be beautiful. Freaking loving this. Anyways, here's the P&L ski for today. 4.5K across 5 accounts. My 5 Lucid accounts. We're going to go over the trade, exactly what was going on. So here in the 4 hour, we are reacting off of this 4 hour gap right here. All right. So this is our first confluence reaction from this 4 hour gap. Okay, we're probably going bullish, right? As you can see, we're reacting back up off of that. So obviously showing some signs of bullish pressure. Okay. Now, next thing, we come down onto the hourly, okay? And we notice that there are equal highs on MNQ, not NQ, but there's equal highs on MNQ with an hourly gap resting above that as well. So what are we thinking? Probably going to go take those Johns out, right? Probably going to go take those Johns out. Okay. Next, what do we also see, right? Well, if we're going to continue back up, at this point we were pushed down to around here, right? We were thinking, okay, we'd probably push down into this hourly or this hourly and then get a nice strong push back up and go tap into this hourly gap up here, right? Well, what ends up happening, we come down into this hourly, right? A lot of people probably faded this because we did not tap into this hourly, and this is what I'm going to tell you, okay? I personally would have faded this too. However, we did end up putting in an SMT, pretty fat SMT, which gave me the confluence that I needed. As you can see, right, from this low right here on ES and this low here, I'll click down to the 15-minute. This low right here, yep, this low right here, up to here, right? As you can see, we're not even close to that. Put in a pretty large SMT right there as well. So that's the confluence that I needed, right? We showed a strong reaction off of that low. This one down here, as you can see. And then 3 candlestick V-shaped recovery, 1 minute inverse back to the upside. Beautiful break-even point. And then obviously our final target, which is those equal highs, is what I targeted. You could have targeted the hourly gap if you want to, but you know, I don't need to stretch it out. I was already hitting a 2.34R. So that being said, beautiful trade. Literally nothing to explain about this because I know everybody and their mom took this, bro. Like, holy, this is like an unreal trade. Insane. I need to like lengthen this video out, but I need to like lengthen the video out because it's like so good. But anyways, unreal, insane trade. Man, just beautiful, like straight up just beautiful. I don't know, bro. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what to say. It's just unreal. Awesome trade. Beautiful. Bango. What can I talk about here? Nothing really. So like literally all the trade was, right? We were extremely bullish up to this hourly. Wanted to see, you know, like a little like Judas swing play essentially, and that's exactly what happened, right? A little pullback, gain some liquidity, and then continue back up. Like I've already had people ask me like, oh, you know, why didn't you wait for this hourly down here? Well, the reason is because we put in this large SMT and we had, you know, displacement candle back to the upside, perfect break-even point, targeting data highs. So like, is this a data high? No, never mind. Just targeting these weird highs. But like I said, bro, it's like, all right, you got to judge the conditions, right? Not every single trade, here's some sauce I can give you. Not every single trade is going to be perfect. If you wait for the perfect trade, the most perfect trade of your entire life, you're obviously not going to take very many trades, and you might not even take one, right? There's always going to be some sort of opposing confluence. You just have to determine and manage your risk accordingly, right? So you just have to determine probability of that certain setup. So in this case, like, yeah, we do have an unfilled hourly gap at our stop loss. I didn't like that at all, right? But I was still confident in this setup playing out from the other factors, right? From the fact that we put in a large SMT, we already are delivering off of an hourly gap, and we have a 3-shape recovery back to the upside inversion with displacement, right? So that, for me personally, trumps the fact that we do have an unfilled hourly gap at my stop loss, right? But like I said, it's just weighing probability. Literally just seeing like Neb is definitely in this trade. Watch this. shorts right now, aren't you? Anyways, at the 15-minute. Oh, he's waiting for the 15-minute close. Anyways, so right, me personally in this scenario, and it all just depends on how you trade, right? If you trade, a different way, and this setup wasn't good for you, then that's fine, bro. You don't need to take every single setup. I had somebody say like, "Oh, you have balls for longing this." Okay, if it didn't fit your setup, then it didn't fit your setup, bro. It's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really not that big of a deal. At the end of the day, you're managing your risk. You're determining probability. This is all a game of probability. No matter what, every single time you take a trade, it is a coin flip, right? This is not 100% win rate for a reason, because not everything is going to play out, right? Obviously, you can't win every single trade. That's just not how the game works. But with that being said, right, we're managing our risk and determining probability. And if you determine your probability to be, enough, if the probability of that certain trade is enough, in comparison to the risk that you're putting on the table, then fuck yeah, take the trade. You know what I'm saying? And that's really all it is. So in this case scenario, I would have been okay if I lost this trade because we had this unfilled hourly here. But all the other circumstances lined up with the way that I trade, lined up with the way that I like to take trades, and so I entered the trade, right? And truly that really is all that it is, right? All that it really is just okay. Is that the specific trade that you usually take? Is that going to be a good trade if you take it? Are you okay if you lose the trade, right? And that's something that you can ask yourself. Like, if I lost this trade, would I be okay with it, right? And if you say yes, then fine, bro. You're managing your risk perfectly, right? You're entering off of what you know you need to enter off of. If you lose the trade, so be it, right? Really not that big of a deal. It's not that deep. Right, you're gonna lose trades. It's literally just how it goes. Neb is gonna be pissed if we don't inverse this 15-minute. But anyways, I'll stop rambling now. Dropped a little bit of sauce, right? Just managing your risk, just determining probability. If you determine your probability to be good enough to put risk on the table, then you're gonna be perfectly fine. You'll be a great trader. But that being said, that's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna hop off. Catch you boys next time. Peace out.